In the words of the legendary Billy Idol, in the midnight hour, she cried, but thou must. Welcome, Dragon Warrior Randomizer fans, to the RPG Limit Break channel. It's semi-finals action tonight between DiabeetusThe2nd, Big Slamu, Ziggy, and betastrep. Joining me in the booth today, I suppose, is Aaron Yu.
Oh, hello there, sir. How are you doing tonight?
Doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm ready to go. This is going to be a very compelling matchup. This is our semifinals match. There are 2 total races after this from Winter League, and the top 2 in this one get to go on to face out the 2 that do not finish in the top 2, however, do not.
Yeah, we are getting to the pointy end. The timer's counting down. We're going to be starting shortly. We're in the no numbers week this week, so you're going to be potentially pretty confused. It's going to be pretty fun. Nobody knows what's going on, so we're going to get started. I think right now. Here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. We have no idea about the numbers any more than you do. They're not even bothered to mess in the tracker, so we'll just see what happens as we go along here. Will we have the strength to kill anything? Will we get any useful items? It looks like gold and torch. Torch can be thrown, so that is something, but no starting spells. So this start could be very challenging.
Yeah, some of the other challenges off the start are going to be big swap as well. If we find the armor within the first 5 minutes, we're going to reseed. But it looks like we've got a town just outside.
Well, that is a good sign. And Diabeetus doing the safety save. Same with Ziggy to preserve that money. And Cantlin for Slamu. The thing about the gold here at the start is, 1, you don't know how much you have, and 2, you can have summer sale. It is tri-stated for each item, so he doesn't know. He's going to try to find a hand axe, I think, before he commits to anything.
Yeah, I think that's probably the smartest play there.
And he does see one, so that's probably the best thing you can do. Get some extra juice on your attack power. Now we see Diabeetus gaining a level, and he gained double-digit hit points and strength. That's really the most that we can tell. So it looks like level 2 is going to be pretty useful. Assuming that was just level 2. I don't think he can get to level 3 off of just a ghost, although we do have randomized rewards, or what we would call random but consistent. So it's not super guaranteed. It looks like betastrep going in straight for the fairy water.
Yeah, definitely going to be able to do some early damage to some low-level creatures with that right away as well. So not a bad play either. That hand axe is definitely going to come in handy though. Looks like we got a couple copper swords here on the bottom half as well, and some chainmail.
Yeah, and it looks like Diabeetus was able to afford the chainmail on top of the hand axe, so at least one of them was half price. I'm not sure which, or maybe both.
Have a cave on screen for Slamu, but definitely not too interested in checking that out just yet. We're in the gaining levels phase for sure. It's right off the bat. Oh, we see Sharlock on betastrep screen too, just before he takes a death.
Yeah, Beta wanted to see what was in that cave, but then found out his hit points are a slight limiting factor. We'll see if he rushes it again, or if he just goes down here to the forest areas and tries to grind a little bit. And I haven't been tracking how many levels our players have been getting. It would be wonderful if I was, but Slammer did pick up a spell there, sleep and something else.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been moving my eyes between these 4 screens and not quite catching everything as far as who's gained how many levels. So that's definitely something I've been learning as I've been practicing these seeds, just to get the experience before the players do. And that's kind of something I found, is if you don't keep track of your levels, you can get pretty lost yourself even when you're running them.
Now, I think we know that Slamu is in the lead as far as experience goes. He did spend the least amount of time in Cantlin. Didn't even go to the left side of town, just went straight to the second shop, got a hand axe, and went right out. And I don't think he's died yet, so he's probably about to, though. But yeah, we'll see how long we can go with this. Stop spell. Thank you very much, chat.
There we go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely some neat tricks you'll see the runners use as well. Sometimes you'll just before you rest up at an inn, or just after you rest up at an inn, you'll get all your MP back and you'll cast spells. You'll cast spells to see how many iterations of that spell you can cast for a known amount of MP to kind of gauge how much MP you've got. There's tricks where you can just, run yourself into a swamp and count how many tiles you can go before you die to get an estimate of your HP as well.
Yeah, on that note, it looks like Slimer's decided to do the refresh and maybe do a little of exploration. Maybe he might just try to find a better zone to grind in. They just combine those words.
And we are about 10 seconds away from hitting the 5-minute mark, meaning that when they do find the armor, it will not be a reseed.
Unless Diabetes finds it in the next 2 seconds, it could be this. It's
going to be close.
There could be stream lag, we gotta see, and it's not the armor. So it is
no.
It's in Stonescape, though.
I'll see. At first, I thought Sharlock was right close here, but there might be a river in the way.
Oh, that's always amazing when Sharlock just plop. I always have the mental image of the map is made, and then Sharlock just drops from the sky, and when it drops right in a narrow path and just blocks it, it's just amazing.
I love that image now.
So we will unfortunately not have any resets. We did have one in the other race, and it was very funny. But nope, it looks like we're good, aside from a possible reroll request. But considering how things are going already, I don't think we're going to see much in the way of that.
Yeah, I think everybody's getting pretty comfortable gaining a few more levels here, and yeah, I think once they feel comfortable enough and they move out, yeah, I don't see anybody really wanting to request it for any reason. And I do remember that last one. I think if I remember right, the armor was in the first chest in the throne room in the first seed, and then in the reseed it was like the last chest that they checked.
Man, you just spoiled the other race, dude. What are you doing?
Oh no.
Apologies. That was like 3 days ago. If you haven't watched that, you're not gonna.
That's a good thing you reminded me, because I was about to talk about who these runners will face if they win, but I'll leave that one as a mystery.
Well, let's just say you have until the end of the race, chat, to figure that out on your own, because we will eventually say that. We're not.
I'm sure it's going to come up in the post-race chat.
So I did see, I think it was it Slamu or Diabetes who went to the desert there, east across the swamp. It took up most of his resources though, and I don't know, was just casting sleep. I think maybe that was betastrep. Yeah, he's still over there. Never mind. I got all my corners confused, and he is grinding on a lot better enemies, so he might jump right back into this. He's not too far behind Slamu, but he is a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like outside of that little desert area, I think everybody's pretty hemmed in here. I don't think too many people have gone that far north to see how far you can get here, but it does look like it's pretty. Speaking of, Diabetes is making a trip that way, but oof.
He's trying to push a little bit. Now, if he bought a bunch of herbs in Cantland or something like that, you could possibly break through here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, whenever betastrep is done over here, if he swings down that way. Then again, if we actually get the heal spell, that'll change some things, but that spell actually has to show up first. While everyone is just kind of doing this grind here, as a bit of a recap, DiabeetusThe2nd was our #1 seed coming into this, out of the qualifiers. All of Slamu, Ziggy, and betastrep also did very well in the regular season. I think betastrep himself had the hardest strength of schedule and still ended up with the 4 seed, which was pretty impressive. So, and we have Beta himself last year was our 2nd place finisher in Winter League, so you might consider him the favorite, but I don't know. I think everyone in here has a very legitimate and not even outside of the realm of like normal odds to take this one, because there's just so much talent in this group right here.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Diabetes in the regular season there finished 4 out of the 5 races in first place. It was pretty impressive. Diabetes, speaking of, looks like he's made it around to. He's a little bit southwest of the starting area there. Kind of went around this little bay and is down in these mountains fighting Drakimas for 2-digit XP and gold, getting 1 digit each for all of these stats. It looks like on his level that he just got.
And he's found a little desert too. Now, this was a comment that was made coming into this race, that you have DiabeetusThe2nd, who's known for being a heavy grinder. You have Big Slamu, who's known for being a heavy grinder, and Ziggy himself is very quick to say he might be even worse, or better, I should say, depending on how you look at it, grinding than our other players. Then you have betastrep, who is generally a pretty opportunistic player. He'll take a good grind if he sees it, but if he can explore, he's going to explore. And so far, it looks like, I can't tell if Beta or Slamu is in the lead on experience right now, but pretty close. Slamu's finally migrated over to this zone as well. It just doesn't seem like Diabetes has found it, because he went way out of his way to kind of come around here.
Yeah, it does feel kind of strange, especially when we don't know the numbers. Neither do they, but you know, we have the advantage at least of seeing what's on everyone else's screen. So knowing what we know, I'm not sure that Diabetes is in the best grind spot that he could find right now, but yeah, that might let betastrep catch up pretty quickly. Who, as you say, is usually pretty opportunistic, but I don't think he's left that desert in minutes.
Well, he also knows who he's facing, and
True.
He sees this. He's probably, this might be more defensive than an offensive maneuver. He's like, all right, I got to make sure that I'm not going to die a bunch of dumb times, because 1 or 2 of these people are going to sit on the grind for a very long time. And, you know, that actually makes it maybe to his advantage if he's thinking about it at all. Now, you know, once you get into the race, you have your own strategies and stuff like that. But when you're going up against 3 people who have a reasonably similar strategies, that kind of can make it feel like you're just facing one person.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. You know, when you're the only one of the group that might diverge from, you know, what the others are doing, it sometimes can work to your advantage as well. We'll have to see how it plays.
And that Ziggy found a wizard, not the sort of thing you'd really want to find, but he did a little bit of pushing out, and it looks like he is coming over to the desert zone as well. He was still grinding, he wasn't not getting experience, but it definitely seems like the east-west zones, I think what you would call zone 1, have the best enemies. Right now, Diabetes is in zone 2, and you know, you don't see I don't think you're seeing warlocks and skeletons, and you're seeing Drakies and Drakimas, which are just not quite as interesting. In fact, he's already defense breaking, or he's already getting the Drakimas to run, so yeah, he's just bolting out of this zone.
Yeah, he's moving out now.
And Slamu picking up heal more. I think
Yeah.
Beta got it as well, so now exploration is actually possible. We'll see. I think he wants to see if he's got enough for the broadsword. Then he might. If not, he'll probably pick up the chainmail. No, he's going straight to the chainmail. It's a good decision, though. You don't want to take a lot of little bits of damage here and there. But not healing. I think he might just be expecting to die here.
Yeah,
or maybe he wants to...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he might also be... Well, I don't know. He wouldn't be testing his current magic. But, you know, on top of all that, Diabetes has found Garanham.
You're going to restock on herbs, but no keys yet to speak of, so not too much more to do here except for check out the shop and use it as a rest stop here. We've got another thing that caught me when I was playing these no-number seeds for the first time was having to keep track of when you do get keys, having to keep track of how many you have left, because that number's missing too.
Diabetes not able to get the large shield. I don't know if he would have summer sale money. I think he would have if he hadn't bought all those herbs, but it might not be, you know, discounted anyway because it's 50-50 per item, so it's just a mystery.
So resting up, we'll see what else is down on this little peninsula here. Looks like nothing.
No, and Slamu and Betastrep are both heading down this way. The encounters have just been slightly favoring Betastrep so far, but not so much when there's a blue dragon who we see just takes out Diabetes in just a little bit south in the same area. And no, Betastrep does get away though, so everything's safe. Good thing.
Yeah, blue dragon's showing up in everybody's life right now.
Yes, and it does have sleep, which is something to you know, note down that blue dragons are even less interesting than normal. So while all this is happening, it looks like Ziggy was still on the grind. He decided to move away. Maybe he picked up Heal More, or maybe he's just taking a death warp as he looks around. Nope, he did pick up Heal More. So I think he'll eventually see the only path is that swamp just kind of spiraling outward from Tantajo, which is not great. You know, basically you're going to have to take about 40 to 60 points of damage before you can play the game.
Yeah, getting a little bit of an HP boost to start. Oh, Betastrep finding a cave here. Looks like he's got the tablet cave.
Yeah, normally you might not really want to see Tablet Cave, but I have a feeling that even if you don't have Outside, this isn't terrible right now, just because it's a reprieve from dealing with Swamp and other enemies and stuff.
You get to catch your breath for a few seconds here while you find Dragon Scale.
Yeah, he's not going to really care too much about that. That, again, whopping 2 defense, which sometimes can matter a lot, and sometimes not so much. We had a little bit of a speed up there, but I think we're good now. His stream did start a little bit slower than the others too, which might be a factor in that. And it looks like Slamu is just on the edge of seeing Tablet Cave as well. Diabetes trying to get back down that direction, and it looks like Ziggy did take a death to something through that way. And Slamu fighting Brackenary, which is not terrible. Let's see what happened in the shop here. I don't think any of our players has any real amount of money anymore, though. They've all taken deaths, I think, since the last time they were grinding.
Yeah, I can't imagine any of them feel too rich right now.
Yeah, he doesn't even bother checking.
Yeah, I'm just going to rest up and go.
This is something you'll see from players like this, the really long-term veteran players. When you get into a race against a bunch of people that, you know, at this caliber, you look for time saves wherever you can get it, and it's worthy of note. Slamu just took out that Rogue Scorpion in 2 hits, I think. That is, they must have a lot of strength.
Yeah, haven't been seeing every level they've gotten, but they've definitely had at least 1 2-digit strength boost.
And meanwhile, he's trying to run from the Knight, but Knights do hit a lot harder than Rogue Scorpions, so we'll see if he swings. He does swing on the second attack and does not kill it and gets sent home, unfortunately.
Ouch.
Beta attempting sleep strats on his own Rogue Scorpion, not quite working out. Meanwhile, everyone's pushing the exploration. Ziggy does have Heal More, but he is sitting back on the grind again, so I believe Diabetes is as well, but he is still lacking a little bit. I don't think we've seen Heal More up on his screen yet. I might be wrong.
Yeah, not sure that I've seen it on his screen for sure. Ziggy though on this little bit better grind. If they're both stay here grinding, it looks like Ziggy might come out on top there.
Yeah, right now the exploration is still pretty difficult. The one thing I would say is, again, if you can, you know, Slamu does have the axe, so there's a little bit of an advantage over Beta as far as attack power goes. But he was able to take out that Rogue Scorpion. If he can take out any sort of mid-game enemies, he's probably going to at least stay on pace with Ziggy while pushing exploration, because Ziggy has, like, half of the stuff is running from him now. And it's the strength of that grind is really disappearing. You almost want to cast Sleep to keep the Warlocks and stuff from running away. Although Warlocks themselves have just a little bit of sleep resistance.
Yeah, everybody having a rough go of it. Slamu getting sent home again from that blue dragon that's putting everybody to sleep tonight. If you happen to fall asleep partway through this match watching it, blame the blue dragons.
Diabetes finding an armored knight, that's not going to be a good deal either. They're not going to put you to sleep, they're just going to put you to death.
Yeah.
Now, betastrep finding Garenham, again, it's a good town to find, but what it does for you is very limited until you have key access. Key access could completely blow the seed open. There could be so many good things inside of the different places we've seen already. Coordinate location could be amazing. Maybe there's something great in the shop. There's just so many different things right now that I think all of our players, except maybe Ziggy, are probably thinking very heavy about keys.
Yeah, treasury, basement, all kinds of things open up if you just open one chest and find that random key somewhere. You're golden, or I mean, you might be.
All right, yeah. Sorry, chat. No coordinates. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So back on the prowl, it looks like the area where Garenham is kind of a little cul-de-sac, so I don't think we're going to see any more progression on that side. Gonna have to swing around to... Oh, and there's that armored knight that we saw on Diabeetus' screen. I think it was about the same place.
Yeah, that's unfortunate if that zone is full of them, especially since this map seems to just be a giant spiral. If that armored knight is there in more than one of the 5 slots and is just sitting there gatekeeping, that might be a problem. We might be here for a while.
Well, we did see Ziggy get the next level. I'm not sure if anybody else has got that yet, which I'm guessing is probably about 1,500 experience, or maybe it was 21, so that was probably 10 at the most, maybe 11, and he did not really... He gained some stats. Like, the stats weren't terrible, but it didn't seem like it was anything noteworthy there either. I said the stats weren't terrible. I mean, he got 4 stats. That was all I remember from it. Although I guess he could have gained 0 HP because that's what it would show up as. So he gained at least 3 stats. Oh, nice. And yeah, chat pointing out what I just saw there. Slamu just one-shot a wyvern. The attack power is really, really good. It's just a matter of what appears to be fairly low MP that's keeping our players from possibly, swing heal mooring a lot of things, and or quite possible low HP, because it doesn't seem like they can take too many hits before they, visit Tantagel. I think I just saw betastrep run away from an armored knight. Is that right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, finding Cole just past it too. That's pretty fortunate.
All right, depends what's in here, but this could be the sort of game-changing luck that you might need. Finding something like armor would be absolutely huge. Of course, we're setting it up. What has he got?
Oh wow, it is the armor. Nice.
Well, I'd like to say I called it, but I was 100% sure that it wasn't what it was going to be. So, yeah, huge advantage, especially if our other players are unable to get there. Now, Diabeetus and Slamu are both in the same place, and they are both kind of on the path. Oh my gosh, how did we not see this before? 2 towns.
Goodness.
1 town.
Oxus and Rim, this might open up in different ways for Slamu as it did for betastrep just now.
Well, I don't know. Keys are good. Armor is probably better, because I think the most important thing you'd want to find with your keys is armor.
Is the armor, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it starts to trivialize the swamp seeds. But I think we've had a pretty rough go of it so far. It's been super long. We're still we're nowhere in a point right now where this feels bad. But how many keys did Slam-O get? That was like 3 or 4. It was not a full allotment, I don't think.
No, I almost wonder if the play there is to just raid the armory and just buy some more keys in Tantagel. Just buy a few, get this chest, and which is the token, and then just no, looks like he's gonna heal.
All right, maybe he did lay off the gas actually, and just didn't spend all the money because the inn costs as much as keys do.
Oh, good point.
With the attack power he has, he might consider going at Hawksness. I don't know, like, if it's a green dragon, he could sleep it. If it's a stone man, he could sleep it and take it out. You know, when there's a couple enemies you can kill, that's when you start really seriously thinking about this.
Yeah, and you're thinking it's not the worst thing if you die now that you got keys anyway.
Well, that note,
sorry. Go ahead.
Diabetes does see where those towns are. He just died to a Magic Wyvern on the way there. Would not be surprised if he just goes directly back. And yeah, chat's pointing out the grind right now that Beta's doing on Magic Wyverns is extraordinarily good. If he's able to just keep popping these guys, he's going to get himself in a good position really quickly. And on the spike, we have the Golem. Not really what you want to see here. He would need some sort of, 75% spellcast, but that's not what you got. So no flute. That Golem's going to be alive for a while.
Yeah, it'll remain a mystery. Well, unless there's a flute in here, but we'll see what's in the treasury now.
He must have 4 keys if he's charging in directly here, and there is a key in here. So 1 key, 1 torch. What else we got? We have fairy water, and the guard moves death necklace. So no gold grind, although theoretically you could grind a death necklace if you really wanted to.
I suppose if you were that desperate, but not knowing what the prices are anyway, yeah. So gonna refill on keys, and we'll see what's in the basement as well.
Yeah, no money for the keys though. That might have been his last.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to pretend to know exactly how many keys he has. Oh, the harp trade-in, that is not really useful information. Well, it's useful information, but nothing can do with it. So he might wind up going directly back to Remolder to try to make some money. I mean, guess we'll know, because if he goes to Garenham first, then he still has keys, and I think he's seen it.
Yeah, Diabetes finding Rim now, gonna fill up on keys. Or at least try to.
Magic Wyvern's putting Beta to sleep, wakes back up, continuing the grind over here, which again, this zone looks really nice. Meanwhile, we haven't talked much about him, but Ziggy's been having trouble just getting through. There's another Armor Knight death. I don't think that's the first in a row. Just not quite able to get to where the other players have been so far.
Yeah,
Slam-O is just straight up fighting the Armor Knights, which is worthy of note. In this flag set, Armor Knights can be the most valuable enemy to take out. They can be worth 300 some experience. So if this works out for him, this could be a bit of a windfall, but it's probably taking up every last one of his resources.
Yeah, as we see there, MP too low and gets sent home. And yeah, I feel like Ziggy is just kind of every roadblock that each of the other runners has individually hit, Ziggy's kind of hit all of them. And it's been it's kind of resulted in him going back to that little patch of desert and grinding a little bit more here. I think it's just because likely because on that last death, I think there was a smaller 2-digit you need that much XP for the next level, so I think he's just going here to grab that real quick.
Right. If you're paying that much attention and you notice that, which, kudos for noticing it, I think that definitely makes sense. Just get the level, and maybe you get something that keeps you from getting killed by the Armor Knight. Although, honestly, that's kind of just hurt more. It might be the only thing that's enough to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Slamu ends up heading in the more correct direction. He stops in here to Garenham and blows the last key, assuming he still has a key, which we don't exactly know, and we'll see in a minute. Meanwhile, Diabetes is going into Hawksness, probably not going to have a much better time than Slamu did here, though. And that level for Betastrep was double digits agility and hit points, single digits MP, no strength, but again, our runners have had a ton of strength so far, so not super surprising. He's taking on a wizard. A wizard is another enemy that tends to roll up in these flags.
Alright, Slamu getting into the back of Garenham here, finding some gold, some wings, and an empty chest, which I'm pretty sure has to mean it's herbs, because he just filled up.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be sad to get that gold too, because I believe he's in pretty desperate need of keys. Now, taking a step here in South Swamp, I don't think they have outside, so he's not going to be able to warp through. I might just walk through and see what's over here.
So a Wraith Knight and a Druin Lord so far down in the Swamp Cave here. Druin Lord for 2. Oh, he's getting a level as well.
It's worthy of note, the level that Ziggy just got, those stats looked identical to what Betastrep got. So I think they might be on the same level.
Yeah, I think you're right. It looked very similar.
Alright, so while Beta has been doing this grind, he isn't any major distance ahead of the other players. Now, he might push forward while he continues to grind while other players don't, although, you know, as I say that, Slamu is killing the exact same thing that Beta is on the screen. And he's going after the spike. It must be... I think he wants to find a stone man. It has to be it. Or maybe he was just testing it, I don't know.
Yeah, ran away once he saw the golem there for sure, but... Yeah, it seems to me like that's the reason you'd go and check that is exactly like you say, you're kind of hoping for something that's prone to rolling up.
And yes, pointed out by chat, what we've seen now, and at least Slamu knows, that both spikes are terrible. Golems are normally worth 350 experience and can be a pretty easy fight if you have the Fairy Flute. Or if you just have a decent amount of hit points and enough heal mores to keep going, but... In this scenario, they are terrible because of the way that the random but consistent experience gold works, is that it goes off of the enemy's level, which the game assigns them 0 to 39, and it's based off of the first area you see them, and it just winds up that, according to the game, you're supposed to see Golem, the one Golem you see in the game, very early, so they end up being very bad, like 70 to 80 experience normally.
It feels like Slamu is liking this Swamp Cave zone and has been just walking back and forth in this long hallway, just fighting those Wraith Knights and Druin Lords.
Those two zones do seem very similar, Schmike. You may be correct. While Diabetes is doing the exact same thing, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Diabetes stay here until Hurtmore as well, which is what Beta just picked up. He also picked up, I think it was double digits hit points and strength, or maybe it was agility. No, it was double digits agility again and MP, so still a whole lot of stats coming. But the bigger thing here is that nobody has found coal yet, and that passive healing is massive, especially for an overworld grind.
Yeah.
What our other players are doing, they're just going to be eating up a lot more resources than he is. Taking these fights, which, I mean, he's not substantially ahead in experience, but I would not be surprised if he is able to just keep up while he's not grinding, where it seems like all of our other players are. And going after an Armor Knight, very interesting. I think, oh, there's the Hurtmore, swing Hurtmore to try to take it down. This works most of the time when you're at, you know, late level strength, but not this time. He does take it out, though, for, again, 3 digits. We don't know what it is, but Armor Knights tend to roll up.
Yeah, still throwing out those Hurtmores. Probably gonna take this one down and heal after that. Though I haven't seen a town around, so might be pretty low on resources going into this cave.
Well, he doesn't know it, but I'm pretty sure there's no towns left.
Oh, that's right.
I think we've seen everything, and nobody has been as far out as he has. So is this other side of swamp? Nope, it's Mountain Cave. So
Mountain Cave.
5 checks. I think the only other cave we haven't seen is Grave, so that is probably under Garanham. Oh, did Slamu never leave swamp? Okay.
Yeah, Slamu's been grinding in swamp for a while.
So I guess that scenario is still possible then, too. And Ziggy just got to the Hurtmore level. I think he got there before... I don't think Diabetes has got there yet, so... You know, as far as experience goes, it looks like it's beta Ziggy right now. Although, I don't know, our chat might be able to keep up a little bit better with that than us.
Oh yeah, that's right. And Schmike in chat mentioning as well that under Garanham is Swamp South. So yeah, I think that means that Grave is the only thing that we don't know where it is yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's how Slamu got there. That's why nobody else has, because only Diabetes has got keys. And now Slamu getting the Hurtmore level. You got to think, if Diabetes hasn't got it, he's going to get it. Well, he hasn't got it, but he's going to get it very soon. He wasn't that far behind, and the grind he's on is the exact same one that Betastrep was on. And did Betastrep just find the sword?
He did. Down in Mountain Cave.
Nice. So there's another key item. You know, it's really just going to come down to when Betastrep finds keys, because we do know that the token is in Rim. That's key locked. So that is maybe the only thing that's keeping us from just saying he's just, you know, way out in the lead in this race.
Yeah, we haven't seen the harp either, which I guess if we've seen everything else, must be in Grave at this point.
Well, we still haven't seen Hawksness either, so we got Hawksness.
Oh, that's right.
And I think that's it, so yeah. Unless the beta hasn't full cleared this yet, or no, he has, so we're fine.
Yeah, see, DK I think is hoping for the I'm with Schmike I'm on team Schmike there for that. If there's anything that I want to be in that Hawksness spike, it's going to be the Fairy Flute.
I mean, if I'm these players, this is a scenario where if I can choose to go to Hawksness and fight a golem with unsure stats, or I can, you know, Dive Grave. I'm still going to try Hawksness first, but it would actually be a bit of a conversation. So now that Slamu has emerged from Garanham, we might see if he gets the coal here pretty quickly, gets the armor, and see if he decides to sit on a grind or if he just pushes forward like Betastrep did.
Yeah, gonna find Breckenary first.
Oh, he's swinging back to Rim. Maybe he wants to top off on keys. Like, he came down here with a purpose. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he feels better about his stats and might try that golem. It's a bit of a mystery, you know, how many hit points you have, but maybe he's been trying to count while he's been doing these fights.
Yeah, I'm not sure he had heal more last time either, and maybe he's just feeling more comfortable.
We'll see. Diabetes is back in here fairly quickly. I wonder if he is topping off, if he just hit a level or something, because... Or you know what? No, never mind. I think he might have gotten sent home. But Ziggy has now made it to Rim and gonna get keys. He might get a little distracted down here too and not press on to Cole like our other players have just failed to do.
So I think we've been about 25 minutes now of betastrep being the only one that's had the armor. It feels like it's been that long.
Yeah, and this is the first seed where we've explicitly had a normal size map for this tournament. I mean, we may have gotten them in the random cup week, and then of course the vanilla map is itself massive. But it is interesting to see, trying to find the things. Now, I think Grave and the other side of Swamp are like the things that are eluding us, knowledge-wise. We know Beta still hasn't seen Rim or Hawksness, and I don't think he saw Breckenary either. I think he just went straight north above all of it and didn't go through that swamp.
Yeah, I think you're right.
On that note, is this all the way back to Cole? So he's made it back to civilization, you could say.
I suppose if you want to call Cole civilization. I guess I don't know why you wouldn't, but...
So, Diabetes cleared the Hawksness enemy, and was that indeed what we just saw Slamu get it to? The flute.
And it's the flute.
The golem.
I love it.
Alright, that means Harp is in Grave somewhere, and Grave is somewhere. Maybe there? Yep, Beta has found it.
There it is.
Swamp Cave. Whatever's on the other side of Swamp is pointless. And let's see how far Beta dives. Well, he's not going to dive very far because he doesn't have keys.
Oh, true.
Ziggy also going off of this golem. Now, he fully has the same stats that Diabetes and Slamu do. In fact, I think all four of our players are on the same level right now. So he should be able to... yeah, he takes it out, and he gets himself a flute as well. So betastrep picking up Fighter's Ring, equipping Fighter's Ring. Next item is the herb, and last chest is the harp. So he doesn't have to dive.
He doesn't have to dive, but he doesn't know it yet, because still missing the token.
Well, I think the moment he finds keys, he's going to figure out about that token. So,
that's true, that's true.
He is in keys and go mode, and that's it.
Keys and go, yeah.
He's seen everything else. That and, finding... something else to grind on, because I do not think we're at go stats yet. If anything, I think the hit points and the magic points both seem to be a bit low.
Yeah, and I suppose if you're gonna grind anywhere, if you're betastrep, it's probably gonna be on those armored knights, right?
Yeah, if you can find him in a desert zone, that might be worth it. It also might be worth peeking into Sharlock.
Oh, yeah.
First floor Sharlock in this flag set can be a little bit more useful, especially when the grinds are bad like this. Even though the encounter rate isn't great, it just depends on what you find. Now, we've seen some bad enemies, like we've seen blue dragons be just terrible. But I think that's really all we've seen. And I don't think the Sharlock area is very far away from Cole, so it could be a nice replenishment point.
Which is where betastrep's heading.
Yes, and now over 20 minutes since betastrep got the armor. Slamu has got the armor, and we'll see how quickly he presses out. I don't think we're going to see him grind out here like Beta did. He still has to find Mountain. He still needs to find Grave. The fact that he has a key, if he goes north instead of east, and that could turn on pretty quick. And I got to say it, Beta pulling the Brexit immediately. Goes in, goes out. He's also leaving Tablet immediately. Wants nothing to do with that. He is so close to seeing Rim and Hawksness, though. And there he did on the screen. Turns
there
around.
It is. I was wondering. It looked like he was going to go east from there.
So Diabetes is getting close to the direction where Cole is. Like, Cole is really just one screen away from where the players have just spent the majority of their time this seed. Or at least Slamu and Diabetes. So it's just so close, and just the fact that it's eluding them. Slamu finding what I think is Jerk Cave on the way to Cole. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with that.
Betastrep happy to find Rim, I'm sure, picking up some keys. Doesn't know that the Harp Cave, the Harp Trade-In is below Tantagel.
Well, he's got to have it down to about, 50% Tantagel, 50%
Yeah.
Garaham. And, assuming he goes in here and checks Rim, which you wouldn't know why he wouldn't, he's going to be like, okay, I'm good to go.
Yeah, immediately back in.
So Ziggy with keys popping back into Garanham, likely going to check back behind here and dig a little bit. That's the one thing that Beta hasn't found yet is the Death Necklace. We'll see if he bothers to check the Tantagel Treasury or not. Again, we have no idea where the stats are, but the hit points really don't feel that great at this point. So we might see, he might try Hawkson's to see if there's a good spike. We know there's not, but it might be worth a peek.
Yeah, I can't imagine him deciding to fight that thing even. Knowing there's nothing important under there. Well, I mean, unless you're really looking for the Death Necklace, but like you say, you're kind of feeling low on HP, so maybe he just hits run when he sees it.
And also to correct myself, there's actually a 1 in 3 chance. Oh yeah, he's noped out. No golem. But now I think he changed his mind and he's going to go back after it anyway. Because, well, it's the Death Necklace. It's probably worth trying, and I can kill a golem. Yeah, because there's still 3 checks technically, because we haven't really seen North Swamp anywhere. So
that's right.
Yeah, the moment he sees Swamp in Garanham, or he goes to the basement of Tantagel, he's probably not bothering to go through Swamp. And Beta gets his flute. Is he going to pick it up? Is he going to? Yes, all of our players picked up the flute. Nobody left it in the dust, unfortunately. But then again, you've seen a golem on 2 spikes. Do I want to lose a heal more, possibly 2 in Charlock?
Well, and especially knowing the way Betastrep thinks, sometimes I would have expected him to pick it up just on the assumption that it's gonna be a golem there.
So Slamu, full clearing, Mountain Cave, and so he's got everything out of there, so he just needs to find Grave now. I don't think, was there anything? Oh yeah, Sword was in Mountain Cave, so that was pretty important.
Yeah.
Of course. But, Diabetes now in Mountain Cave, he's going to find it here in just a little bit too. The lack of outside has been a little bit funny when it comes to these things.
It has.
As far as exploration goes, again, it looks like Ziggy's just a little bit behind where other players are. The moment he finds Cole, though, he's going to feel like he's in a bit better position, but he might also feel really, really bad.
Yeah, finding that 50 minutes in, maybe not that far from where you've already explored before. You gotta be assuming the worst.
And our tracker Schmike pointing out that he believes they have a bunch of HP. So if that's true, you got the sword, you knew you had a lot of strength. This might be a situation that once you have everything, you do the whole, okay, heal up, now spam, heal more, and see what I got. So it could be a situation. And I wouldn't be surprised if our defense is good, because I've seen multiple double-digit agility levels. Oh, Betastrep took out the blue dragon. It looks like all single-digit gains and gained return. So we're still not at 16 because we're still missing 1 spell, I think. This Armored Knight right here, this might be the area to grind in. This desert isn't too far away from the beginning.
And there's a town right here.
True. And it's not guaranteed that this is going to be the fight. Like, we don't know that for sure, but it's usually something you kind of lean into. And for the record, we'll have to ask Diabetes after the race, but that is not from Ultimate Exodus. So it's not from one of the Ultimate games, and I know because I asked him before, but I totally don't remember what game it's from. I don't think it's an NES one. But there we go, Slamu picking up the harp. He is the second person with the full gear. He actually has better knowledge than Beta at this point. So it's really just a matter of, how has his experience and is he going to bother to get a shield?
Yeah, Beta about to find out that Garanham chests are a bust. Gonna go into the basement, find that that's a bust too, and then I fully expect him to just leave and hit return.
Yeah, the problem that Slamu has right now is he does not have return. So he is kind of struggling to kind of find where he needs to go. I wonder if he'll walk around Cole and buy wings. I don't think he has any on him.
Yep, Beta checking the spike, finding a golem. Oh, and he is walking around. Good call. Slamu's gonna go grab those wings.
And now Diabetes also here in Grave, just about to find the harp. We might see, he does have wings, so we might see him warp back a little bit quicker once he gets it. But all of our players might be in Tantagel here doing the exact same thing, just that Betastrep seems to have a little bit of an experience lead.
Yeah,
actually,
check. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually a little surprised Slamu didn't buy 2 sets of wings there, just because he knows he still doesn't have return. And again, we'll see if, we don't know, maybe he needs the shield, maybe he's already got a shield and we missed it, if that matters or not. Sometimes, us in the booth can worry about that a little bit more than what the players are doing. And Betastrep finally digging into that giant fairy water allotment he had at the beginning that I don't think he ever used.
Yeah, it looks like Slamu and Betastrep high-fiving at the staff trade-in.
Which again, this 3-second lead we see on the screen is not going to add up to the experience lead, which is probably a little bit more significant. And oh look, Beta caught right up, casting return to leave.
There you go. Both throwing on a repel.
Sorry, Diabetes healing up in Cole. And we'll see if he does have a set of wings, unless he threw them out and I didn't notice. We'll see if he throws them right now, or if he's continuing to go about. I wonder what he hasn't seen. Did he not clear Mountain? Oh, he was in Mountain too. I wonder if he's just going to walk back.
Yeah, now you've got me thinking about what happens if you were to just discard them out of your inventory, a pair of wings, because when you use them, you throw them into the air, and I'm just imagining somebody just tossing it from their inventory onto the ground and instead being transported back to the castle.
Yeah, I wonder. And, oh, I see. Diabetes is going to check the spike, too.
Oh, okay.
That explains it. Now, Ziggy did pick up the armor, and he is the only player who has managed to go to Grave first. So the big question will be if he decides to deep dive it, or if he just picks up the harp and nopes out and tries to go hunting for the sword, or for Mountain Cave, which we know is the sword. He doesn't know it's the sword.
Yeah, that sword being the only thing that's missing, maybe going to cost him a lot of time if he does decide to go deep.
So Beta taking the time to heal up in Cole on the way to the Jerk Cave. Slamu just went right on by, and it looks like he's coming back. We'll see. If he stops in Cole and rests up, I think that means we're going to see a Charlock check. But he might just go straight to Charlock anyway. Yep. So Diabetes does see the golem. He's fighting the golem. I don't know. I wonder if he thinks he's really close to a level or something. It's an interesting fight to take. Or maybe he's taking the Death Warp. I think that's what that is.
That could be it. Yeah, you were mentioning he didn't have wings anyway.
Yeah, well, Oh, he might have, but I think he wanted to check that spike, and at that point, you might as well just die.
Yeah.
Again, you might need the wings later. No, I guess he has return now too. Never mind, he did get that level.
Oh, okay. That looked like a 4-digit next level as well.
Yeah, I think we're at this point.
Yeah.
That's going to be most of what we see. And it looks like Slamu is fighting down here in the basement. Looks like betastrep is going to do the exact same thing. Usually we would see people maybe consider checking their MP and stuff like that if they were serious about diving, but not necessarily. And we'll see if Beta decides to fight or if he's going. And not, the fact that he's casting spells, this is grind. I'm pretty sure he is not diving. And you have no idea how much these things are worth. So generally, you know, take your chance on 5 different enemies and hope that 1 or 2 of them are good, I guess.
Yeah, not knowing it, but their opponent's doing the same thing too. Looks like left-hand side of the screen just high-fived at the Staff of Rain trade-in as well. So everybody's got full gear here. Left-hand side needs to trade in for the rainbow drop still. Ziggy though still looking for that sword.
Right, he warped back. He's gonna do in the other trade-in, and we'll see if he decides to try to just test Sharlock. That's a possibility for the sword, and he might consider it, especially if he feels like he's behind. And that's something we say as announcers a lot. If they feel behind, they might do this. And you know, the answer is you're always like ultra tense, and you don't really feel ahead in things like this at all.
I can't say in all the times I've ever played this that I've ever felt ahead. but I'm not any of these forerunners as well. So these guys all know a little bit more how where they feel they should be compared to the other 3 that they're running against. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what they're going to decide based on that feeling.
And Slamu, I believe, did he run out of MP? I couldn't remember if he tried to cast something. Yeah, I think Slamu actually is out of MP, so he's just swinging now. And I don't know if he's going to take a death or he's going to try to squeeze out a level. We did see betastrep picked up heal and outside, probably level 16, based off of the amount of stuff he get. And it looks like he's diving. He might just not try. Like, if he feels like he has a lot of MP, you know, he probably wouldn't feel too bad about losing that stuff. But if he's still swinging now, then I think he's just fighting all the way down. He did pick up outside, though, so if he decides to not go all the way, he can warp out. Ah, 14 or 15, okay. Yeah, 16 would be a little bit more of a dedicated grind, I think, than we'd seen, so that makes sense. I was just assuming that all the spells came in on the last level. Oh, and we see a red dragon. I didn't think we saw that on anybody else's screen so far, so that must be the rare enemy. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out so well for Slamu. Now, Beta gets his chance to fight one. And he is swinging on them. Red dragons in this flag set are usually not as appealing because odds are they roll down, but that's not guaranteed. And they're still probably worth at least 200 experience, although that's not guaranteed either.
Yeah, that's the bad part about it is they probably rolled down, but there's no way they rolled down enough to be worth less than 3 digits, so you really don't know. That's definitely the advantage I found to the middle tier enemies when you expect them to roll 2 digits worth of XP and then you see the 3rd digit, you know they rolled up. Whereas with the late game enemies, you really can't tell.
Now what we've seen is that Slamu was in the same zone that Diabetes was. Diabetes was straight up grinding in those hills and took a death. I wonder if Slamu might stick around here until a level. Again, Armor Knights usually feel kind of good. Beta is just going all the way down, though. We might see a stat check on the Dragon Lord if he gets there. you're not thinking outside at this point because he's more likely to run out of MP before that happens. But Slamu picking up the same level that Betastrep had not too long ago. And we'll see if he stops in into town and checks the stats. Well, you know, as best as you can check your stats. And then we'll know if Beta is going a little too long or not. Or if Slamu just rushes if he's not worried about it. And up here we go. So there was Healmore 1, Healmore 2. I'm not going to count them all out loud. But I am counting them.
Yeah, same.
Well, then you can count them.
Well, yeah.
I'll talk about it.
Perfect.
So while we're doing that, Diabetes again, it looks like he is specifically in this zone, hoping those Armor Knights are worth it. Ziggy is getting his trade in now, and we'll see if he pushes on to Mountain or if he tries Sharlock. That's kind of the big question for him. He is somewhat noticeably behind, but at the moment he gets the sword, he might not be. And there we see Diabetes picking up that level as well, so he's on the same level as Beta and Slamu now.
Alright, so 91 MP is my count. Yeah, 10 heal mores and a heal.
And that would be 83.
Oh yeah, it would. I was thinking 11. Why was I multiplying by 11? Yeah, 83.
Well, it looks like Slamu's going. He's going to try it. He must feel pretty confident in his strength, which again, it seems like it was pretty high early on. So, you know, one-shotting Wyverns with a hand axe is not, you know, incidental damage. And maybe he bothered to do the number crunching on that. Probably not, because that's a lot of number crunching. But I think he's diving to win right now.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. And, you know, if you do and you make it, great. And if you don't, then at least you have more information than you did before. You know that it's not the right time, at least.
So I saw Ziggy go into Mountain Cave. Did he get the sword? Or did he just leave immediately?
I did not see whether he left immediately or went in. Let's see if chat can update us on that. Diabetes, though, definitely liking this. Liking this armored knight grind in these hills here.
Slamu not liking the armor knight that he's finding here in Sherlock, but he does get away. Again, agility seems like it's good. It's so hard to tell with, you know, all of the stuff that we don't know. But there we go. Discovers the secret passage, stares down, and, you know, does he have enough herbs to make it? Are the encounters going to work out? That's our big questions here.
Yeah, are the enemies going to cooperate?
And now Ziggy is diving as well. I don't think this is a go dive, is it? Because he didn't heal up or anything. Maybe he just happened to have full resources before.
I don't remember him going to a town immediately before this, but he might have stopped off in Cole, and I just didn't notice.
So Diabetes, yeah, he picked up the level. What was that? Single digits, agility, hit points, MP.
I believe so.
All right, sorry to interrupt you. I assume you were saying the same thing.
Oh no, I was about to talk about how now we've got 3 out of our 4 runners in Sherlock now, and we're looking for the top 2 today. The first 2 to finish are going to move on to the finals, which by all rights might even be this weekend. We'll see in the future when that's going to happen, but we are looking for the top 2 finishers today.
Yeah, Slamu is playing this a lot more aggressive than our other players. We've already seen Diabetes pick up 1 more level and is still grinding. Beta is still grinding. I think, yeah, it's definitely still grinding. Ziggy is swinging through things on the way down, so he might be doing closer to what Beta was doing before, where he just kept going despite fighting the things on the way down. Maybe thinking about outside. I don't know if he's able to track his MP that much. But I don't know. I guess all of our eyes right now are on what happens with Slimu here, because he's our first real test.
Yeah, I almost wonder if on Ziggy's it's trying to get to a spot where you've got another zone, but then I'm thinking no, because you probably know what that zone is from having seen it in other caves.
It is possible he's just going to dive, and if he happens to gain a level, we might see him cast outside and refresh.
Yeah.
Although that level, we don't really know. Like, again, it was all single digits, but they could be high single digits. Like, an extra heal more might be enough.
Yeah. About to get our first look at the spike tile in Sharlock basement as well.
And I will echo something. It does seem like we have a lot of hit points. Slimu does burn that heal more. I wonder... I don't know, man. I don't think you can use the Death Necklace lightly here, but it is a thought. And he does eventually get away from that red dragon, but it holds him up a lot. He's going to herb up as much as he can before the spike, which is Armor Knight.
Not terrible, I suppose. You fought enough of these that you know you could beat it, but can you beat it without using any resources? I think at this point you're probably pretty confident, unless it dodges.
Oh no, not the dodging. There's another heal more down.
Wow.
This is not going to feel good. He's going to have 8 heal mores for this fight, which means he's probably hoping for somewhere around 140 AP. I don't know. Are we going to see a Death Necklace?
I mean, I guess at this point you just go for it.
I don't know. Well, the problem is you can't undo that once you equip that thing. So, I mean, you could, but you really don't want to. Brachynary's sort of on the way, but it's a long walk. I don't know. He doesn't know how many hit points he has, so he's herbing up off of the hurt more, probably just to make sure he stays above 48 because he has no idea. And there we go, stop spell, and this is probably going to take him out.
Okay, Dragon Lord fight on Slimu's side. Everybody keep count.
Oh, so he was actually pretty high up. And on level 14, that 10 swing does not bode well, though.
No.
That means at most he has 140 AP, which is still very unlikely. Yeah, see, if you're in his situation and you're looking for info, you want a wide variety of damage. Not what he's getting, but it does look like his max hit points might be capped at 123. I mean, we've seen a range of 9 to 12. That is not particularly great. Oh, wait, there's an 8.
There's an 8.
It's even worse. Another 12. I wonder if we'll see a Hurt More cast here at the end, just in case. If he gets within the range, it's probably worth the effort. Although the way his MP is, he could probably just cast 2 Hurt Mores after 1 more Heal More and go with it on that. Meanwhile, Ziggy has made it to the basement.
There's the Hurt More. No.
And I don't know if he even has done enough damage that Hurt More... No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think he was in range. But now he knows his attack power is somewhere that does 8 to 12 damage, I guess. So it's somewhere between like 123 and 133.
Yeah, and I think from having seen your max HP, you know you're not in Death Necklace territory either, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what the max HP was, actually.
It looked like it was 123. I saw that number repeatedly. So, yeah. Well, at least 126 AP. You might think Fairy Waters. You might think, I don't know, if you gain any hit points, you might just try the Death Necklace. I don't know. When you take a death like that, you know, through that sort of fight, you're probably thinking, okay, I have to go on the next one. Now, Diabeetus did just pick up a level. I didn't see if we got any strength, but he is moving on. I think Diabeetus is definitely diving now with whatever he got there, because he's going east instead of staying in that zone.
Yeah, I feel like Diabetes definitely feels ready. Gonna rest up, trade in for the rainbow drop, and make a go of it, perhaps.
And what we've seen from Slamu's screen is that the dive is not free. He lost
No.
2 Healmores on the way down, and that didn't feel like it was particularly bad luck. There were red dragons in many different zones and armored knights all over the place. So I don't know.
Yeah, pretty good run luck as well, I'd say. So yeah, I feel like you might have used up all your luck that in that run, which is unfortunate.
And Diabetes doing what you just mentioned, actually getting the rainbow drop. He almost got there and then realized he didn't have it. With all things considered now, Betastrep is picking up the level as well. If he decides to go, feels like Diabetes has a little bit of a lead since
Yeah.
Betastrep's going to have to nope out here and get refreshed. But that looks to be your 1 and 2 right now in this race. Should they be able to get through and this level is good enough?
Yeah, because Slamu's, I think, at least a level behind here of Betastrep and is just grinding in the start of Sharlock here, which is not a bad play, but yeah, you're definitely, us knowing where everybody is definitely looking behind compared to Diabetes and Betastrep for sure.
Yeah, and I want to, on the note that was mentioned in chat, let's give a bit of a shout out to our trackers here, Schmike and Kamian Renikov.
Yeah.
They've really been on the ball, just kind of keeping us on track with what's going on. And, as a tracker, there isn't always a lot to do in this sort of scenario. But that just means this other half that they're bringing, taking these notes and learning this stuff on their own is so much more important and not something the trackers are normally expected to do. So thank you very much.
Yeah, big thanks for sure. And if you haven't already, give a follow to these runners as well. They are great at this game. There's a reason we're watching these 4 in the semifinals, and if you enjoy what you're seeing here, stay tuned to their channels for plenty more.
And on that note, it was Schmike did mention that we had the just what seemed to be a much better grind from Diabetes there at the end. Just Armor Knights in the hills over there. He was behind Betastrep in experience before they did their individual grinds, and Diabetes was able to get ahead and has the pole position right now in the race. And that was entirely that grind decision that did it. I was also talking about the efficacy of going into Sharlock, but we'll see if they're able to get through them. Diabetes having some trouble with this goal on Betastrep running away from a red dragon. Again, nothing is safe down here. This is a very treacherous walk.
Yeah, and this is Betastrep's first time through it as well here.
And the other thing to kind of keep in mind, this is the one place where Slamu, if these runners aren't able to get through, the fact that he's went through and saw the death necklace is incredibly useful. Like by the time he goes, I think he's going to feel comfortable putting it on. I don't know 100% if he would, but we would like to hope that you get 5 hit points across 2 levels.
Oh, you should hope so.
Yeah, on top of all this, Ziggy is in the overworld. It looks to be grinding, or maybe he's getting ready to go too. I don't know where he is experience-wise. He was doing something completely different, so I kind of lost track of where he was, but he might be on a go level now too.
Might we see all 4 of these runners going at once in the semifinals?
I think it might take something a little special there because
maybe
still got a ways to go. I just don't know
True.
how far Ziggy caught up, because he did the same dive too, and he died in the basement. So he didn't quite get the same time to grind, but he was at least on Slamu's level in there when he got into Sharlock.
Diabetes hitting the basement.
I don't think he's lost any resources either, so we
No.
don't know. I mean, we don't know exactly what that is, but that's pretty good. Now, Beta has just made it through the U room, so he is not that far behind Diabetes at all. And again, we had a bit of a stream difference at the start. Oh, and we see Diabetes has no herbs left, so that is also useful knowledge. It might come down to a battle of resources here at the end.
Oh, that's exciting. Let's see how he fares against this armored knight. Let's see if the armored knight's gonna dodge like it did with Slimu.
So Ziggy is diving. We're gonna see him go through here. No, he's grinding. Never mind. That is not a dive. Yes, Diabetes through, talking to the Dragon Lord, and he's thinking about healing. He doesn't feel confident enough. He's just gonna wing it.
Now, I don't remember Diabetes checking his MP, but I'm sure he did.
I think he's the sort of player that if he's casting spells, he's counting while he's doing it.
Oh, that's a
and he
fair
was
point.
fighting. He was fighting armor knights, so that's a fairly reliable metric to use. But here we go.
Yeah.
He is on to the Dragon Lord. I believe this is level 16. So there we go. With 12 heal mores exactly. Oh, and he's throwing out 10. This is a little nervous.
Yeah, let's hope for more.
Oh, 15. That means at least 130 AP. That's still really tight. We're going to have to see how these hit points work out here. If he's able to get any doubles. If he is, he probably has this.
Betastrep now as well on the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, I'm just... Oh, Betastrep actually went a whole extra level. So, I don't know, man. I feel like he's got really good odds with that extra hit points. It looks like he has a much higher max.
Yeah.
I think he was in the 140s. It's true. The Dragon Lord is the only time you can see the numbers because it's too frustrating to fight somebody that does near 50 damage to you and just guess.
Alright, Diabetes is pretty much a lock at this point. We're at, I think, 109 if I've counted right.
Yeah, he seems to be rolling all right. I mean, as far as we can tell, we don't know what the actual min and max are. But he's gotten at least one double in, which really kind of puts him over right now. If he gets one more, I don't think it's even in question. There
it is, Diabetes getting the kill. Looks like Betastrep's not that far behind, so GG's in the chat for Diabetes. Let's see if Betastrep can close it out to take second place and move on as well.
Right, we're still looking at the race room to see where it is, and there it goes. Diabetes in first place. Final time of 1:17:02. GG, first place in the regular season, and now moving on into the finals. And this is a first for Diabetes. He's mentioned before, he struggled a little bit in Winter League. He's gotten to the semifinals multiple times, but here he is pushing through and getting his first chance for gold.
I think Betastrep's probably feeling pretty comfortable at this point. I haven't been keeping track, but there it is. GG's in the chat for Betastrep as well, who's going to be our final finalist.
Yeah, he pushed in a little bit. He seemed to be just far and away the leader in this race for most of it. Finding armor, the fact that he didn't find keys right away, hurt him a little bit towards the end. And then just the grind wasn't quite as lucrative as Diabetes'. Plus, he went all extra level, which ultimately was fine because it doesn't matter if you finish first or second. As long as you're in the top two, you go through. And there it is. Final time, 1:17:36. GG.
Just about 30 seconds, a little bit more than 30 seconds between these two runners is it's always great to see. It always impresses me how close everyone finishes when you're at the higher levels here. So, yeah, GG's to the both of them. We'll see if we can get them in the chat here too, in the booth here for an interview. Yeah, it looks like Betastrep's going to join us soon. And here's Diabetes. GG, Diabetes. How did you feel about that one?
Thanks for the GG. I appreciate it. Just needed a second there to catch my breath. Man. Whew, that got fast at the end. Felt good. I was very nervous. I was waiting for that done to happen at any moment. And fortunately, mine was the first one to cross.
Yeah, and Betastrep, like 34 seconds behind you. We were watching the difference between these you two was pretty incredible, as we're going to mention when Betastrep gets in here, I'm sure. And actually, here he is, Betastrep. GG as well to you too, and congratulations on moving on to the finals.
Thanks. GG's beat us. That was an interesting seed, especially at the end.
That's almost literally what I just said. It's like, it was the ending that was really the crazy part. But GG2 as well. Very, very close. Sounds like it was a really great race.
Yeah, so my strat at the end, I wasn't super confident in what my attack power was. I just knew that the level before the level I ended up going on had 88 MP, and I was just like, this Charlock is awful, and I didn't want to chance it. I figured I was going to lose resources on the way down, and I knew my attack power was north of 120, but I didn't know how far north of 120. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I was very much in the same boat. I'm looking at kind of like how I was trying to track and figure things out. Literally, I had like 122 earmarked, and then I picked up level 16 and decided to just go with it. But I was pretty sure it was higher than that. That was like the absolute lowest possible. But yes, I did the same thing. I think level 15 had 88 MP. I think level 16 had literally like one more. Or no, it had 96. Sorry. Level 16 had 96 MP, which was one extra heal more, which was enough. More than enough, in fact.
But we can share that, because Big Slammy was actually the first on the Dragon Lord fight. He went in at 14, but he lost a couple of heal mores on the way, and I think at that point he was just trying to get a read on his strength, which the fight was literally all 10s and 12s until the end, but he had at least 126 AP at level 14. So, and I think, Beta, you were at 17, Diabetes, you finished at 16, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't see an attack power gain in my level up, so I went an extra level. It's like, well, I'm not super confident about this, and I know how my Charlocks tend to go. And I had the race room up on my screen, so I was just like, I was grinding on the top floor of Charlock, and it's like, as soon as I see a dot done, I'm just gonna go straight to Cole and dive immediately, because I'm just gonna assume that somebody went a level before I did, since the rest of the seeds seemed to go pretty well for me.
Well, speaking of that, the rest of the seed going well for you, you managed to find the armor like a clear 25 minutes before anyone else.
I'm not that surprised. Like, that walk was awful.
Yeah. No one else had it for the longest time, and it ended up with you being in the lead, and then Diabetes found I think probably the most efficient grind you could find in this seed for sure.
Also not surprising.
Well, I was a little bit worried because I didn't hop onto it right away. Basically, right near the bridge that went over toward Cole to the east and Breck and Talbot to the south, there was a zone in the hills right there north of Garenham that had Armored Knights and Blue Dragons. Blue Dragons were annoying, but they were stop spellable. But I had killed like 1 or 2 Armored Knights and picked up a level way faster than I would have expected that I would have. And I was like, okay, earmark this for later. They are definitely worth a lot. And then I ran into like 4 Blue Dragons in a row, and same thing. I was like, okay, both of these are fantastic. I need to come back here when I'm ready to go. And that's exactly what I did. I actually did not touch Charlock until 16, until I was ready. So I had no idea what lay in store, and yeah, I think Beta, you said that was a pretty challenging Charlock between the Red Dragons, the Armored Knights, the Blue Dragons, wherever, like, that was a pretty nasty Charlock. I was very fortunate to get through intact.
Yeah, I remember that zone you're talking about. I couldn't remember exactly where it was, so I didn't want to go hunting for it on the overworld. I was just like, I'm just going to enter Sharlock and see what's available in there. And as it turned out, it was on the top zone, it was blue dragons, red dragons, armored knights, star wyverns. I was just like, all right, this is a-okay. And then I also grinded walking down through Sharlock to see what the other zones were, and I think before I did the final dive, I made it through the middle zone, and I was just like, this is all terrible.
Yeah, it definitely had the earmarkings of some sort of RNG fest where somebody's going to get totally boned and someone else is going to sneak through. Like, there were red dragons? What are you talking about? I didn't know blue dragons had sleep. But I'm glad that that really didn't determine like the race outcome or something. It sounds like we were both pretty neck and neck. And speaking of neck and neck, it looks like we've got a pretty neck and neck fight here for a third and fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. Slamu's used the Death Necklace on level 16. Meanwhile, Ziggy's on 17 has not used it to my knowledge, but Ziggy was on this fight first, and looks like he's going to finish first, third, but first between him and Slamu. So GG's in the chat for Ziggy as well.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Blue Dragons had Wombo. I got hit with a breath from them and it put me in the red, and I was pretty sure my HP was relatively high when it did that. I was like, this is another reason to be concerned.
And there it is. Final time for Ziggy, 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 51 seconds. Good race for him. It felt like in his case, he just kind of didn't get the exploration that anybody else did. Sat on the grind a lot longer. I think most of you bailed after Healmore to start really seriously exploring, and he was just a little bit off in that sense, and then just wasn't able to really press forward as much, which I think ultimately hurt him a little bit. And then we see Slamu coming through as well. He should be finishing up in just a moment. In his case, it was just he did that dive early, not fighting enemies on the way down, and ultimately didn't pay off because he just was not in go mode when he got there. I think he managed to do 80 damage or so to the Dragon Lord before he just started throwing out, Hail Mary Hurtmores, and that was it. But final time for him, 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 40 seconds. GG to all of our runners.
Yeah, GG. Looks like we got Ziggy joining us as well. GG, Ziggy.
GG. Well done, Beta. Well done, Diabetes. I'm guessing like that was a pretty hype end of race, seeing both of them finish so close.
Oh, they both took completely different paths through this. Betastrep, just to kind of sum it up, Betastrep found armor about 20 minutes in, like about 25 minutes before anybody else found armor at all. And kind of had an early lead in that respect. And then meanwhile, Diabetes ended up not finding everything that quickly, but getting on a good grind and catching up at the very end there pretty quickly.
Yeah, I feel like that was my problem. I found the grinds out of Garinum way late, and I turned the corner towards Cole also super late. I think I was 55 minutes in. And then I knew, oh no, the armor was just there. I am so toast. I tried to do my best to come back, tried to do a dive to grind experience. Probably should have dove at 16, but I don't think it would have made a difference. Like, I lost by, 7 minutes? So, nah, I think I was already done. I could have made it a little bit closer if I didn't try to grind one more level, but must have been very well ran by Beatus and by Beta, so GG.
And we've got Slamu joining us as well. GG, Slamu. How do you feel about that one?
Thanks. I mean, never feels good to finish last, but it is what it is. Congrats, Beta and Diabetes. I saw Diabetes finish, and I had just grinded 2 more levels after a failed dive, and I minimized the race room. Had I left it up for 30 seconds, I would have known that there was no chance, and I could have just taken my time. But I was still 100% in that grind mode. I mean, that dive was was an 8+ minute dive, which is just insanity. Like that's not how long Sharlock should take, especially with 144-ish AP or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, we got the stats coming up now. Looks like 144 is dead on.
At least I can do the math. I can't win the race, but I can do the math.
Were you level 18? I ended up winning at 17.
No, 16 was plenty with the death necklace.
Oh, I didn't put a death necklace on. I figured the HP was somewhere between 125 and 135, and I decided it wasn't worth chancing it, so I ended up doing without that necklace. It worked fine. I had 3 XP.
I dove at 14 because I figured our strength was in the 132-ish range, and I wasn't sure on the HP. So if the HP was viable for doubles, it was close. Unfortunately, HP was 123, and I just didn't get anywhere with it.
Yeah, the MP was kind of bad as well. The last 2 levels I got gave a lot of MP.
Yeah, my thought process there is I'm not going to go out without having a shot at the Dragon Lord. And I mean, I just saw it's a 129. Had I not lost 2 heal mores, I'm probably somewhere in the 20% range to have a chance to win it. But that was at like an hour. So had I just grinded 2 levels, I'm right up there with DB and Beta. But I don't know, it was a fun one. And without a doubt, it was a fun race. Definitely enjoyed playing with you guys.
So if you had an 8-minute dive, I probably ended up diving after you and catching up, because my dive was not so bad, except for the 2 red dragons in the last 2 steps. That one was scary, but I didn't have that bad a dive, really. If Combs can confirm.
Sorry, I was fiddling with the monster stats. What was that?
No, just did I ended up starting my dive after Slammer and then passing him because he had a bad dive?
No, I think you were in a little bit before him. I think he was leaving to heal up right when you went in, actually.
Yeah, and I don't even know if that heal was necessary. It was only for the MP, and I think it was... I mean, I didn't need it in reality.
Anybody else explored the Swamp Continent completely?
No, I didn't touch it. I knew I had Hawksness at that point, and I could take out that golem at 110 HP or whatever I had, so I went there and got that awesome flute.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, no, Swamp had nothing. It was all mountains, all average enemies. It was a complete waste of time. It was super fun.
I only went through Swamp when I was looking for the Staff Cave, and I was just seeing if it went into Tantagel or went to the other continent, and it went somewhere else. I'm just like, all right, I'll just immediately cast Return then, and I'm done.
Must be nice to have Return when you're going through there. I had to go buy wings and coal after I got the harp.
I did really appreciate the fact that this seed gave us 2 golem spikes.
Yes, that was beautiful. I went like, okay, so my last chance was to find the good grind in Sharlock. I thought after I found the armor oven, because yeah, we're not grinding the spike tiles. That's not happening.
I mean, first floor Sharlock was basically a spike.
Yeah, it was so good. I probably should have stopped at the first floor and just kept grinding there. I think it would have been the move, but I decided to go deeper to see what the spike tile was, and I actually didn't make it. I ended up killing so many red dragons on the way, I just got 2 levels in one dive.
That's basically what happened to me. I don't think I was planning on going to the spike. I just wanted to see what all 3 zones were, and I ran out of resources before I even made it to the bottom zone.
Now, the dives definitely gave you information. It wound up, I think, on everyone's actual dive win, that even if there was a little bit of problems getting away from stuff, I don't think we really lost too much in the way of resources. That was the problem that Slammy had on that first one. But I mean, like you said, I think you had 129 AP with 10 heal mores. That probably wasn't going to cut it anyway.
Yeah, I figured with a couple of doubles it's got a chance, but I mean, I finished that thing at 83, but I quit early to start throwing hurt mores too, so I had a 2 in 16 chance of finishing the seed at about a 102.
Well, I'm not sure that your Hurtmores were going to actually kill it if they landed.
That's true. Those swings were horrendous, by the way, for 129.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was I was a full swing behind in 8 swings. I thought my AP was, honestly, after I saw all those fights, I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, I basically backtracked my AP by like 6 points, and I was wrong about that. I just swung horrendously, and I didn't swing a wide range either. I swung within like 3 points.
At this flag set, it can be really misleading on where you think your attack power is. Like, you thought yours was higher before you went to the Dragon Lord. I thought mine was lower than it actually was because I kept like 4-shotting red dragons. I'm like, my attack power probably isn't above 125 here. Like, I was really worried, and then I got the 2 levels and like no more attack power came. I'm like, well, screw it. I'm just gonna go for it and hope for the best.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
I-
ended up killing Norman Knight in 2 hit, and I went like, oh, okay, no, we're fine. We've got the power.
I did 83 in 9 swings on my first DL fight, and that was at 129. So I mean, I just basically assumed I was back at 125 or something, and just didn't go again until a couple more levels. But I mean, this was winnable on, I don't know what 15 looked like, but I mean, it's an outside shot winnable on 14 or 15.
15, yeah, we had 88 MP, I think flat, 88 or 89. I think, yeah, it was winnable at 15.
I'd
You
almost
just have to-
call that a favorite if you can get down.
You
in full
just have to
resource.
get there, though. It's like if you drop resources on the dive with the way Sharlock was, it would have been really easy to be in an unfavorable spot just because of the way the Sharlock zones rolled.
Yeah, which is why I grinded an extra level there.
Yeah, just knowing how late I was to find that desert zone east of Tantagel and how late I was to armor, I figured I had to be aggressive, and it didn't even come close to paying off, unfortunately.
Yeah, it took me about, I think, 12 to 15 minutes to actually find the Warlocks. I kept grinding on the Drolls and Drakimas out of Cantlin.
Something in that zone was worth quite a bit because just like the Blue
Drakima,
Dragon,
yeah, the Drakima was really good.
yeah, I expected it was a lot higher than what like the median or average number was because I was leveling up a good like 4 or 5 fights early in the like level 7, 8, 9 range. So that they must have been pretty solid.
Yeah, I got 4 to 5, I think, in 2 Drakimas. So they were above 20, absolutely.
Yeah, the skeleton warlock combo, when you're sitting there 2-shotting him and they're only doing like single digits to you, just felt really good, especially with herbs.
We lucked out on the seed, though. I think it was a pretty easy seed compared to what we saw earlier in the week. It was probably one of the easiest seed I've played in this flag set, actually, in practice. So...
Yeah, the big thing for me in this one, probably compared to what I saw earlier this week, of course, was the survivability stats and a healing spell didn't come forever into the seed. We weren't sitting at 41 HP and 32 agility at level 11, where you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere, the armor's locked away somewhere that you can't access, and everything is bottlenecked by horribleness. Like, we actually had the ability to go out and explore early, and that was really my approach to this one. I was like, my best chance is that it's a seed that you can survive, and you guys know me. I just love to sit. I would grind to 16 or 17 and then go do everything if the game would allow me to do that in a reasonable way. I totally didn't do that this seed. Unfortunately, the seed was conducive to that type of approach.
Once I found the armor, I embraced my inner Beatus and I sat and grinded.
Perfect. I love it. I had to like break my normal tendencies. I'm like, because if you look at the numbers, the early game enemies, aside from like Slime, Red Slime, Drakey, like most of those like early mid game enemies, they all rolled down on average. Like, yeah, we had a couple of good ones in this seed that were pretty decent, but so many times, Scorpions are like 8 or 9 or something, and they're half of what they normally give. And Poltergeist and all that, like all those early mid-game enemies are terrible. So early grind, once you get past like level 6 or something, tends to be terrible unless you have equipment and can start getting into the true mid-game enemies. So, I appreciate that though, Beta.
Yeah, I went after Magiwyverns and I kept missing sleep. Like, I think I was something like 4 for 12 casting sleep on Magiwyverns in this seed. It was really impressive.
I just want to point out something. It's again another race where Aaron picked me as the winner in his pre-game show that he did earlier in the week, and again I lose. Aaron, please stop picking me. I beg of you.
Never.
Cease. Leave me.
Well, speaking of moving on though, Diabetes and Betastrep are going to be moving on to face Angel and DK. We told you we were going to spoil that, so you can't get mad at me. So, what are your feelings on this grand finals? Any thoughts on what's coming up?
Well, I was in it last year and lost to Angel last year in the Winter League final. I think the difference this year is I think Permanent Repel and this No Numbers flag set, I think they got swapped. Like, I think Permanent Repel came a week earlier, if I remember right. But Permanent Repel being in the first phase of the grand final, I'm really looking forward to that. I feel like that flag set can be really difficult, but it's also really interesting because I don't think any two seeds with that flag set are alike. There's just so many different ways it can go depending on what you start with.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Speaking about the flag sets for the next couple of races for next week in the finals, yeah, the Permanent Repel thing. There's a lot more calculation and manipulation and strategy. Not that there isn't for a lot of the other flag sets, but that one in particular, you really have to know and strategize exactly how you're going to approach things. And yeah, that'll be really interesting. And then of course the turn everything on and pray. That's always going to be a fun experience, more so for chat than for us, but that's why we do it. And I will say, after being eliminated 3 years in a row by less than a minute in the semifinals, I am happy to be moving on.
Yeah, congratulations. I was thinking about that before too. It's like we have, and congratulations Betastrep for making it back, but Diabetes to finally make it, to get the monkey off your back or whatever, because you've mentioned it before, the semifinal jinx or whatever.
Exclamation point monkey plus plus.
Yeah, I guess we still got one more to go. But Ziggy and Slamu, this is out for you guys, but very, very well run tournament. It's been a pleasure to do the broadcast for this one and other ones that I've seen you guys do, and just we know it's not going to be long till we see you guys back in this sort of situation again.
Thank you. Also, I'd like to say, yeah, we have a top 4 of Angel, DK, Beatus, and Beta. I don't think there's any surprise in that top 4, and all 4 of them are absolutely great runners, and it's going to be a blast to watch. So, just glad I made it farther this year to the round of 8. I'll try to make the finals next year. Small improvements.
Yeah, I think, it obviously disappointing to end it the way we did here, but phenomenally run tournament. Thank you to the whole admin team, particularly. Aaron, you stepping up new into the role. DB, you stepping in as well, but also the old guard. The amount of work that all you guys, and I'm not going to name every name because I will guarantee miss one, and that's not fair to you guys, but you guys do so much hard work to make this thing happen, as well as Camion stepping up and taking that restream lead role. You guys give this community a ton of great experiences, and thank you for that. And couldn't do anything like this without you guys, so thank you.
That's our pleasure. And really quick question that chat asked, and it's been asked a couple of times. So,
Yeah.
Diabetes, what is your sprite from that you used?
That would be, honestly, I've never played the game, but it's the Shepherd. I believe her name, at least in the remakes or re-releases, is Katrina from Ultima 4.
Oh, it's Ultima 4. See, somebody mentioned Ultima, and I swore it wasn't. Because I remember saying I thought it was from Ultima Exodus, and you corrected me, but I totally forgot what you corrected me for. So apologies to chat. I think it was Kamian, actually, specifically, who said he thought that was an Ultima game. So there we go. So I think with that, we're getting ready to wrap up here. Beef, do you have any last words for our crowd here?
Well, aside from the GGs to all the runners, and thank you to you and to the restreamer Cavi and Renakai, and to Schmike for tracking, and to the wonderful viewers who always make this the most pleasant experience to cast. No, that's it for me. So I'll leave it to you to take us out, Aaron.
All right. Well, I'm not going to thank everyone that Beef just thanked, but thank you, Beef, for always being available to help us out. Not always, but almost always. And appreciate it. You've been, with the others you mentioned, you've been one of the highest number of volunteers for this. And we desperately have needed your participation. So thank you very much.
Oh, I thank you.
And on behalf of everyone, I'm Aaron to you too. I can say that now that the race is over, my actual name. And we're heading over to Jay Coper. I believe he's in the middle of a race. If not, he's practicing. So we'll say what's up to him. And thanks everybody for your continued patronage. Have a great night.